Hi, this is Chris Bianchi with Resolute Philanthropy, and I want to talk today about individual giving. I love talking about individual giving because it's the most important thing we can do as fundraisers is to have an individual giving strategy. As if you've seen the Giving USA reports every year since the 1980s, you'll know that individual giving accounts for the largest piece of the philanthropic pie. That's where all transformative giving happens. That's really where your donors are. And not for nothing, if you have a corporate giving strategy, if you have a foundation giving strategy, it's individuals you're dealing with, right? Whether they're program officers or representatives of a corporation, your ability to build meaningful relationships, to be clear in your communications, to connect with individuals, that's going to help you all the way around. So when you're thinking about individual giving, there's a lot of different ways you can approach it. But one thing that I've recently been kicking around is the idea of how we should characterize our individual giving program. Or put another way, what are the elements that make for a successful and sustainable individual giving program? And me being a fan of alliteration above all things, I identified a couple different features. First off, we want our individual giving program to be clear. We want to have clear, direct, open communication with our supporters. We want our communication to clearly represent the values of our organization. We want to be consistent in the type of outreach we're doing, whether you're having a monthly newsletter or whether you're making phone calls and email outreach to your prospects every other week. You want that consistency in the work you do. We also want things to be compassionate. Now this one might be a little scary for some of you, but I was talking with someone the other day and we were talking about that that horrible feeling when you've sent communications out to a prospect or a donor and you haven't gotten anything back. And if you're like me, you'll let your anxiety sometimes fill in the blanks for you. Oh, this person isn't calling me back because they hate me and they're mad at me. But I think if we bring some compassion into the equation and we remember that that person you're reaching out to has a whole life beyond your mission. They're not necessarily sitting at home just waiting for another nonprofit email to get there. There's other things going on. So we need to reach out with a little compassion about that. And not for nothing, a little compassion for yourself too. Like this is there's some difficult parts about this job, and it's way more difficult if we're not kind to ourselves. So on top of the clarity, on top of the consistency, and on top of the compassion, we want curiosity. We want to be curious about the people who are engaged in our mission. We want to know more about them. And more than anything, curiosity, I think, is what drives our ability to build relationships. It's not a relationship if all we do is tell the donor about how great our organization is. It's a relationship, hopefully, if we're curious about what they bring to the table, about their story, about their connection with the mission, about what brings them joy. These are the bricks that we can use to really build a strong foundation. So clarity, consistency, compassion, and curiosity, 4 C's that you can keep in mind when you're thinking about your individual giving program. And it just so happens that I'll be speaking about these topics and a few others on May the 7th. I am hosting a webinar. Actually, I'm leading a webinar hosted by my friends at MonkeyPod. This is May the 7th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and we're talking about building or growing an individual giving program. I will put the link to register for this program in the comments below this video. I really hope you can join us. I think we'll have a great conversation about the different ways individual giving can really, really support your mission. If you have questions about individual giving or things you'd like to learn more about, please put them in the comments below. And if you want to have a deep dive and really talk about your fundraising, talk about ways you can be doing more for your mission, let me know. I'd love to help. Keep up the great work, and hopefully we'll see you on the 7th. All right, take care. Bye-bye.